What's going on, everyone? Lalit here. Citi just released their latest product, the Citi Custom Cash Credit Card. We're going to be looking at the details A to Z, but moreover, answering the question if the Citi Custom Cash Credit Card is the best cashback credit card in the industry. Not a lot of intro, let's get straight into it. Starting off, we got the sign-up bonus. You get $200 cash back by spending $750 in the first 3 months. This $200, if you divide it by 750, is basically giving you around 26.6666% return on spend. This $200 can be redeemed as cash back, but at the same time, you'll actually get these in the form of thank you points. Thank you points is Citibank's names for its ecosystem of points, and so with these thank you points, you can actually redeem them in a way by transferring to travel partners or transfer partners. And so with that, instead of just 1 cent per point, aka 20,000 points equal to $200, in fact, you could be getting, let's say, 2 cents per point, and so that same 20,000 points could actually be upwards of $400 in value, depending how you redeem your points. If you're getting more than $200 in value from the sign-up bonus, then the more the merrier. But with that, we'll move on to the earning potential of this card. You get 5x points, not just on any category predefined by Citi, but in fact, it's going to be 5x points on the category where you spend the most in each billing cycle. What this means is that if you spend more in one category in month 1, and let's say next month you're spending more elsewhere, basically automatically without you needing to activate or do any extra effort, you're basically going to be getting 5x points on that most spent on category in that month, aka that billing cycle. The categories are as follows. Your 5% earning capability is going to be in restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, select travel, select transit, select streaming services, drugstores, home improvement stores, fitness clubs, and live entertainment. It's a pretty diverse set of categories, which is pretty cool. And if you look at the 5% per category, the thing is, if it was 5% unlimited, that'd be insane and amazing. But in fact, there is a cap, and it's $500 per month. This $500 per month, for context, if you do the math, 500 times 5% is essentially $25 in cash back, or 2,500 thank you points. And so multiplying that by 12, from an annual benefit potential, you're looking at 30,000 thank you points, aka $300 in cash back, or depending how you redeem your points, even more. Regarding the categories, I wanted to give some insight after reading some of the terms and conditions. So starting off with select travel. If you're familiar with Amex or American Express's ecosystem, even with cards with annual fees, to actually get the bonus multiplier on the spend for example, airlines or hotels, purchases need to be done directly with the airline or directly on the hotel's website. And so on the other end, with the Citi Custom Cash Card, you're getting 5 times points on OTAs, aka online travel agencies, as well. And so there's no restriction of it needing to be directly with the airline or the specific vendor. And so, for example, your Booking.com, Priceline.com, Trivago.com, Expedia, Booking.com, etc., basically you'll be getting those points. When it comes to select streaming services, if we're talking about $500 a month, especially in streaming services, when you're talking about Netflix, Disney, HBO, etc., it can add up. But $500 in a month to get 5% back, maybe if you're paying all your streaming bills in 1 month for the whole year, it could make sense. But otherwise, it's there as a perk, and that's great. But maybe the full value won't be received from that category. Moving on to live entertainment, one of the things I noticed was that, not AMC, but movie theaters as a whole, you won't be able to get that 5x. At the same time, if you're into the fitness club angle and trying to get 5x there, when you consider gym memberships, maybe the most value won't be received as well, but it depends what type of gym membership you may have. And they didn't say the word Peloton, but they kind of meant it where basically if you're using the Citi Custom Cash Card for Peloton type of purchases for your actual virtual classes or online type of streaming for fitness, it wouldn't count, aka you won't be able to get 5x on those type of services. Before going any further, I want to do a quick example of the earning potential. And so, for example, let's say we spend $600 this month. And so of that 600, let's just say 500 is in restaurants and 100 is anywhere else. Naturally, if you max out up to 500 in one specific category and you get that 5x, then basically you've maxed out that 5x potential for that month. Another example is that let's say you only spend $400. Because you're getting 5x and assuming that 400 is in that same one category, you'll get 5x up to that much in spend, aka again back up to 500 bucks. And one final example to be super clear. Let's say we spend $6,000 this month in one category. Now, per year, you could get 5x up to $6,000, where you get 5x up to $500 in spend each month. And so it'd be 6K eventually. But the thing is, it's 500 per month maximum. And so from that 6,000 this month in that one category, we would get 5x points on the first 500, but on the rest of the 5,500, basically we'd only be getting 1% or 1 point per dollar spent. And one final point before we move on, comparing the Citi Custom Cash Card to other similar credit cards in the industry, basically is that from a sign-up bonus earning capability, if you've earned this bonus in the last 48 months, then you won't be eligible for it. But at the same time, the card just came out, so should be all good. So with that, Citi says you can only have one of these Citi Custom Cash credit cards per account. And so in theory, if you had two of them, then you could be earning 5%, not just on $500 a month, but because you would have two, you could earn 5 times on $1,000 worth of spend. For me personally, I have 3 Chase Freedom Flexes. And so when the language came out in the beginning with the Chase Freedom Flex, they did say that, hey, you can only have one of these. But lo and behold, I made a video about how I got 3 Chase Freedom Flexes, so feel free to check it out. But at the same time, when it comes to the Citi Custom Cash credit card, looking at having more than one, it could be possible. Product changes are possible for getting the Citi Custom Cash card versus just applying fresh. But product changes will be coming out in a few weeks / a few months, at least as of the information that we know now. From there, taking the Citi Custom Cash card and comparing it, for example, to the likes of the Discover It credit card, or for example, the Chase Freedom Flex, looking into it at a more detail, all 3 of these cards essentially have 5 times points or 5% back on every dollar spent at the highest level. When it comes to the Discover It, you do get 5% cash back as well. And for simplicity, talking purely cash back, if you spend $100, you're getting $5. If you're spending $1,000, you're going to get $50. The point here being that the categories, they're predefined and offered to us by Discover, unlike how with the Citi Custom Cash card, it's automatic, where we spend the most, we get that 5%, but for Discover, those categories are predefined. With these categories defined in advance, naturally you can also plan your spend for which months maybe you'll use the Discover It cashback credit card for certain purchases in certain months, but at the same time, it's $1,500 per quarter where you can get this 5% back. If you average it out, you're getting $500 per month essentially, but instead of it being restricted to $500 per month as a cap, for example with the Citi Custom Cash, you're basically getting $1,500 per quarter. So in 1 month, if you spent the whole of the $1,500, let's say you get that 5% back, then it will hit that month and you're good and you're done for the quarter. And so next month, if you were to spend in the same category, you just go back to that 1%. On the other hand, if you have the Chase Freedom Flex, you're also getting 5% back on certain categories every quarter, very similar to the Discover It card. At the same time, the categories may or may not be the same, and they also are predefined by Chase. When it comes to the Chase Freedom Flex, the Chase Freedom Flex also earns you 5x on certain categories predefined by Chase, and just like the Discover It, you have $1,500 per quarter. The advantage I see with the Citi Custom Cash card is that since your category isn't predefined, basically wherever you spend is where you're getting that bonus. In addition, the cashback calendar for both Chase and Discover It come out just far enough where some planning can be done per how you're going to purchase and which card you're going to use for which type of purchases. With that, the Citi Custom Cash card can potentially fill in some of those gaps depending on the categories and the alignment. So with just some basic planning, you could actually have in such a way some type of rotation where you have the Discover It, the Chase Freedom Flex, the Citi Custom Cash card, and if you have multiple of them, then you can kind of imagine that you could possibly be getting 5% almost everywhere. From a disadvantages standpoint, there could be a few, but at the highest level, what I can see at least is that there's something known as MCC, Merchant Category Code. And so when I was looking through the terms and conditions, basically one of the angles was that, hey, if you basically spend somewhere where you think is a restaurant, but let's say that business doesn't code itself as a restaurant, then basically naturally the bank, aka when you swipe, it's a MasterCard. So in the back end, it won't understand that, hey, you spent money at a restaurant, so you may not get that 5x in restaurant category or any other type of category depending on how you're purchasing. Point here being that if you try to go to Citi and say, hey, you know, I spent X amount at this place and I should get my 5x back, they could just say like, hey, we're not liable, so you're not going to get that 5x. Sorry, not sorry. It's what it is. I bring this up because it's a pretty dang good card, but at the same time, frankly speaking, just from experience, the customer service on Citi's end isn't the best. So whether you're battling them for MCCs or anything else, it may be a little tougher than not. But instead of complaining, one of the suggestions I would give is basically just get better like online chat or any other way other than just calling in and even then going in a loop, etc., etc. Never want to end a video on a negative note, but just want to give some honest feedback, which hopefully can help you too. But with that, appreciate you. Thank you for coming to the end. Peace.